is Monday, ladies and gentlemen, but not any Monday. It is Valentine's Day Monday. Appreciate our own John Ivory, Touchdown Alabama Magazine, music producer extraordinaire, bringing us in with the jams there as I am wearing a pink shirt here, spreading the love here at Valentine's Day. Hopefully, we're spreading the love each and every day, but today being the day for everybody out there. And of course, we're bringing you the show in my own words. TDA Magazine coming to you from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming this to you on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, go ahead right now, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Get your friends to subscribe so that way you can have all that you crave on Bama football. You can also give a like on the show, run those likes up, give us that thumbs up right there, making sure show your network, your plan, your platform, your channel to talk Bama football. Turn all of those notifications on. Hit that little bell so that way you can get all of your entertainment on your favorite program. We also got you covered on Facebook and Twitter, streaming you the show. Big show tonight. Awesome show on this evening. Got a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. And as always, we want to hear from you, the passionate Alabama fans. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. A big congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams winning Super Bowl 56 from SoFi Stadium in LA on Sunday. Nick Saban producing 3 more Super Bowl champions in terms of Crimson Tide football alums, that being Ashawn Robinson, Terrell Lewis, and Carson Tinker of the Rams. So big ups to LA and the former Bama standouts that were able to get that Super Bowl ring right there. But daily Super Chat goes $75. Daily Super Chat goes $75. And Jimmy, the bad man Clay, meets the goal by himself, dropping in that $75 in the Super Chats. Appreciate the love from Jimmy Clay. And as always, he's back by popular demand because you love him, Patrick. P-Money down in here. P-Money, happy good times to you, man.
Yeah, same to you, Steven. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. Got Patrick Zoud here on the show, joining us live on set here. And that kind of breaks us into people. Topic number one of the conversation, and spring practice coming up here, middle of March, between the second and the third week of March. And U.S. fans are excited about what could we see from spring ball and the different positional battles that are going to take place, and who rises to the occasion, who takes the bull by the horns, as Coach Saban says, who becomes those starters at those various positions, who becomes those marquee contributors. Will there be a freshman? Could there be a young face that comes in and just really messes up the deck of cards and becomes a primetime, marquee player? All of these are questions that we have so much excitement and fun dissecting, diving into, and discovering when you look at spring football and the A-Day game coming up here on Saturday, April 16th at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And here at Touchdown Alabama, the staff here, we, in writing, have been putting together a series breaking down these different positional battles, who can win in these different spots, getting you guys prepared here for spring ball. And I figure let's bring the written material, the written content into the show and make these some show topics for you, the fans, to interact with, have questions about, make comments, have these conversations, this dialogue about these various positional battles, these various positional races here when you look at spring football. And the first one I want to get in here to, especially with the man Patrick P-Money out here, is the backup quarterback position. We all know what Bryce Young is. He is the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. He is the reigning winner for various individual awards. He is the reigning SEC champion. He is the single-season passing score record leader holder. This is an individual that we are excited to see the next step he takes in his growth, especially when it comes to him leading the Crimson Tide, or pushing to lead the Tide to the national championship stage and finishing the job this time around. And then, of course, him trying to put himself in a spot where he could be taken possibly number 1 overall in the 2023 NFL draft. But our eyes always look toward who will be the number 2 guy, who will be the primary backup behind Bryce, and who will be that guy to have the ability to continue the effective play, continue the efficient play, continue the dominant play, and have that rapport with this group of wide receivers. And Pat, Alabama's got 2 quarterbacks, 2 talented guys that are fighting for this number 2 job behind Bryce Young. When you discuss Jalen Milroe, former 4-star from Texas, who came in the 2021 class, dual threat quarterback, and Ty Simpson, the hotshot 5-star from Tennessee by the way of Westview High School. He comes in as an early enrollee. Pat, how intriguing is this? You got 2 very talented guys fighting for a spot behind Bryce Young here.
Well, I think talking quarterbacks is always intriguing, and if recent Alabama history has proven anything, the backup quarterback's a pretty important spot for them. And, I think when these 2 guys, I think it's going to be pretty exciting to watch them in spring. I know that Ty Simpson enrolled early with the team, and I think it goes a long way and it shows a lot when a freshman quarterback has the opportunity to participate in the bowl practices. And that's exactly what he did. And, when you look at the 2 of them, they both kind of do similar kinds of things. I think Ty Simpson is coming as a freshman a bit better of a passer than Milroe was when he came in. But, Milroe has had a full year under the system now, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens during spring ball.
So take it right there, Pat, because you brought up a good point here. Milroe, a full year in the system. Milroe came in as sort of this workout weight room gym rat, this weight room warrior, and a guy that had that same type of ordeal as Jalen Hurts when he came in 2016, kind of that weight room squatting, bench press warrior. He was so strong, lower body. That's why he was such dangerous with his feet, dangerous with his legs, grew as a passer. But with Milroe, to me, he enters this spring with a lot to prove because we know the attention that's on Bryce Young, and now here's Ty Simpson. You watch the tape and fans go, oh my word, I can't wait to see what this young man does on the field. So here's Milroe, kind of that middle child, if you will, the older child, the oldest. You know what to expect. You know what they're gonna do. You know how they're gonna be. The baby of the family. You gotta grow with the baby and coddle the baby and learn with the baby. It's always that middle child kind of fighting for, hey, I'm right here too. So here's Jalen Milroe with a chip on his shoulder, but a whole bunch of talent. What specifically this spring, Pat, are you looking forward to seeing from him?
Well, going back to that point, I think it's a little bit, too, of the fans getting caught up in a little bit of the shiny new toy here with Ty Simpson coming in. I remember when Bryce Young came in.
Oh, yeah.
It was a similar situation. When's he going to play? When's he going to play? Is Ty Simpson going to be the second string? And then Mac Jones, in his case, was like, no, I'm still here. Now Jalen Milroe will probably be along the same lines of, no, this is my spot. I want to keep it. So, but going back to your question here, I think I want to see him develop even more along lines of a passer because I think what he can do with his legs is already special in and of itself. Because when we had a few opportunities to see him scramble around on the field this year, and he is explosive when he gets out in the open field.
As big as he is, Pat, he can evade and elude tackles.
He glides around the field. He is a fast kid. So. That's just to see him develop more as a passer, more of a threat in that regard, I think will be important. But looking back at this past year, I know that I think it was early on before the season we had asked Coach Saban about what his thoughts were about the battle between him and Jalen Milroe and Paul Tyson for the second string position. He was a little ho-hum about it because I think it was a little bit closer than people realized. So I think Jalen Milroe, if he can show more. If he can show to be a more dynamic passer, I think he can lock up that spot.
Of course, Milroe this past season, Pat, did complete 3 of 7 attempts, did have 41 passing yards, which included a 24-yard touchdown pass to Javon Baker against Southern Miss at Bryant-Denny. Of course, now Javon Baker is at Kentucky. But when you now look at Ty Simpson, and we've seen this before as you talked about it. Jalen Hurts, when he came as a freshman in spring practice 2016, and people were like, whoa, look at this dude. And I remember leaving Bryant-Denny, and I was talking to our photographer, Cedric Mason, and said it was like that Hurts kid, that's the starting quarterback. And we saw how that kind of came to fruition. even in 2017 where Hurts was a sophomore and Tua Tagovailoa a freshman, that the aerial attack show those two put on, you left the stadium going, I like Jalen, but this Tua kid, if he ever gets on the field, this Tua kid could be something really nice, and we saw that also. So you look at Ty Simpson, he's kind of got a little bit of a wow factor here. I know a lot of people kind of compare him to a Johnny Manziel, a more refined Manziel, the way he's able to make those escape, scramble-like plays. I kind of see it more so as a Ty Detmer back at BYU, or as a scrambling Fran Tarkenton in the NFL with the Minnesota Vikings. But when you watch Ty, you really got to love the confidence and sort of that boldness he plays with.
I mean, yeah, bold is definitely a word I would use, because you can just throw on his highlights. And it is Manziel-esque the way he will scramble back and just keep the play alive, look downfield, and still find the open receiver, where I think Jalen Milroe will run forward. Ty Simpson will run around and throw a 60-yard touchdown. That's kind of the difference in play there. So, I mean, he is an electrifying player in and of himself. And, you know, if he can bring some of that in when the few short months that he does have experience leading into spring football, I mean, he can make this thing very interesting.
One thing here about Ty Simpson here, Pat, you can look at him, the 6'2", 195-pounder out of Westview High School in Tennessee. His senior year this past season, 2,827 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, just 3 picks.
Airing it out.
I mean, big time playmaking ability right there, passing the football, but running the ball last season, 862 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns. He ended his career with 61 total scores in the ground and in the air. So he can do a little bit of everything. The thing with him will be, how much of the playbook does he grab quickly? How much of that in spring does he take to really, really fast? Because Jalen Hurts took to it fast. Tua Tagovailoa took to it fast. So how quickly can Simpson grab the playbook and parlay that from mental with the playbook to on the field with it, even though spring ball kind of more so vanilla than most times in the football season. But how quickly can Ty grasp that playbook?
I mean, I think that was the sole reason why he arrived during the bowl practices, to just kind of get his reps, whatever he could, and just digest the playbook and try to get a hold of it as much as he could leading into spring practice. So it can be in this kind of position to potentially be the backup quarterback to Bryce Young. And you know, it really is for the young players, the mental game of grasping the playbook. So if he can continue to just do that, I think he'll be put himself in a good position to compete.
When you look at this, folks, Alabama backup quarterback room here between Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. It is going to be fun to watch. We saw 2017 how fun it was to watch with Tua and Jalen. We saw in 2016 how fun it was to watch with Jalen and guys like Cooper Bateman, David Cornwell, Blake Barnett. Insane action that started off in spring football. But how will it go this time, where you know what you're getting in Bryce Young, you know what you see in him as the starting quarterback, but between a hotshot 4-star and Jalen Milroe and a hotshot 5-star and Ty Simpson, this is going to be fun, folks. We take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. Upon our return, we go on the phone lines to grab your calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your interactions. How do you feel about the backup quarterback race starting off early in spring ball? Do you see it, Jalen Milroe? Do you see it, Ty Simpson? Put your thoughts there in the chat, and let's have a conversation about this when we come back to In My Own Words.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, In My Own Words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, folks, we're back in from the break. Number one show, hottest show in the streets here for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, rocking the pink here Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day for everybody out here on a Monday. And we have over 100 people in the chat, so give us that thumbs up. Run those likes up. Give a like on the show. Make this your show, your network, your channel, your platform to talk Crimson Tide football. We got some super chats to get to right now, so let's get to those super chats. John, we got my man Mechanic in the building with that $25 donation. Drop it in the hat right there. Appreciate Mechanic behind him. We got Jimmy Badman Clay, not to be outdone, dropping a 50-piece in here on top of the 75-piece he threw in earlier. Appreciate my man Jimmy Clay. We got Big Bill from New York with that $5 donation, showing love. And we got El Presidente weighing in the super chats right now, weighing in with that $4.99 donation right there, showing love here on the show. Appreciate all of you, the Bama fans, the Bama family, the Blue Ridge Gang, making this your network, your channel to talk your Crimson Tide. But right now, we go to the phone lines to take your calls. The call segment is brought to you by the Blue Ridge Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call here. You're live on the show. How we feeling tonight? State your name and where you calling from.
Oh, I sing you to sleep after the loving. I brush back the hair from your face. Oh, boy, I tell you what, Stephen, you rocking that hot pink shirt, I tell you, you look as good as Ric Flair, I tell you. Ooh-wee. Where'd you buy that at? I may have to go buy me one. Where'd you get that at, bro?
Got this one straight from T-Town, my man, straight from T-Town.
Man, you're looking good on that. You and P-Money, I tell you what, P-Money, you had him wound up, buddy. I tell you what, he's laying the law now. Boy, I tell you what, a lot of people in here giving tonight. It's Valentine's Day. I thought I'd do a little love song right there for everybody, give them a little giggle maybe there, I hope, on their Valentine's evening there. Hope everybody's doing all right. In the chat, looking good. The Blue Ridge Gang, everybody, I tell you what, y'all doing a great job on this channel. I mean, it's unreal trying just to keep up with everybody on this channel now. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to have another set of hands. I have to have forearms here to keep up with everybody. But I love y'all. It's Valentine's night. TDA loves all y'all. All y'all be safe. Let's try to meet back on Wednesday. And, Stephen, I was going to ask you one question before I go. Do I need to leave my chin hair or do I need to shave it off? What do you think?
Man, you know what, Whaley? You do what you feel, but I like the chin hair, brother. I like the chin hair.
There it is. Main man done said this over with. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great week. We'll meet again Wednesday. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate weighing in there, starting this off on a Monday. We grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling tonight? State your name and where you calling from.
Hi, Stephen. Bill from New York, man. How you doing?
Doing great, Bill. Doing fantastic. How are you, my man?
Good. First thing I want to tell you is, what a great topic. I mean, this is a really great topic. Your show keeps getting better and better. And, I give you and the staff all the respect in the world. So my feelings on this, when you're talking about backup quarterback, Ernie Accorsi, who was the GM of the Giants, he once said that the most important position on the team is the quarterback, and the second most important position is the backup quarterback. I think it applies a little bit less in college, but the truth is, one of these days we're going to get hit by the injury bug at quarterback. So that makes this topic even more important. Great work. Now, your guest you had in the show, he said that Tyson versus Milroe was closer than we thought and everything. That doesn't make me feel as great about Tyson. I'm sorry, as great about Milroe, because I never thought Tyson was all that good. I don't want to offend anybody. I just never felt he was ready to be the quarterback of the Crimson Tide, you know. And athleticism doesn't always tell the whole story. You look at guys like Tua, you look at guys, like Jalen Hurts. They probably had a little more athleticism than Mac Jones, but Mac Jones was a monster for this team, and he kicked ass in the NFL. So anyway, make a long story short, I'm gonna say I think that it's gonna be Ty Simpson, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like I told you once before, he reminds me of a young Doug Flutie, a guy. He's not a runner, he's a scrambler, but he gets out of trouble. But when I see him on like the videos, he'll be running for his life and then throw a pinpoint accurate pass. He's in school early, he's in there. And look, Georgia did well with this quarterback, and he wasn't like a super talented athletic guy, right, Steve? You know what I mean? Like, but you got the team behind you, and I'm hoping we have the team behind us this year. Tell me what you think, brother.
Billy, it's going to be a fun conversation between Milroe and Simpson until the A-Day game, just due to going back to the conversations between Jalen and Tua, going back to those conversations between Jalen Hurts and the entire field back in the 2016 A-Day game. It's who takes this opportunity behind Bryce Young and runs with it. As much as we love Bryce, and we do, as much as we respect Bryce, and we do, and Bryce deserves all that has been geared toward him, a lot of times our eyes do shift toward, okay, who behind Bryce can continue that level of play, that level of success? So Bama's got two guys, Milroe and Simpson. That's going to be fun to watch. Appreciate my man Bill from New York. We grabbed this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? Elijah calling from Jersey, bro. How you doing?
Big man, what's happening with you, Elijah?
Oh, man, just up here listening to your show and, just want to chime in on this number 2 quarterback spot. My opinion, I'm not a person that gets caught up into the spring ball. I feel spring ball is a learning tool for a lot of the guys coming in. If they could get into school early enrollees, it could get them familiar with the offense. But as we seen last year with guys like Ajayi Hall, Brooks, a lot of the receivers more so, and even Milroe sometimes. Spring ball isn't I don't think the area where we can make a judgment call about who will be the next one, because these guys, in order for a guy like Milroe to be able to come into a game and run this offense completely, spring ball isn't going to be the tell-all, be-all. You're going to have to put this guy's feet to the fire. And I'm not talking about in a junk time in games. I'm talking about in real game situations. A lot of times, Milroe, like last year, he came in, he didn't even get a chance to run the whole offense. You can't. He was in there running plays for quarterbacks, and maybe that is his strength. But to be the number 2 quarterback, you can't sit there and have a selected amount of plays. You have to be able to come in and run this whole complete offense. So I think spring ball, it's going to be more of a learning curve for the quarterbacks. I mean, the whole team basically. But when it comes down to being the number 2 quarterback, they're going to have to be battle tested. And I'm talking about battle tested in game time situations, not junk time. Because junk time, you're just trying to wind down the clock, get the game over with. We got to put Milroe, we have to put Ty Simpson in a game in crucial situations and see how they respond. Because that's the only way you know if these guys are comfortable. Are they truly capable of running an offense without any limitations? We've seen last year, like I was saying before, with guys like in the championship games, we put guys like Ajayi Hall, all these receivers on the field, and they didn't have the experience. They only played in junk time. Well, junk time is a total difference than the national championship game, when everything is on the line. So I just feel with Ty Simpson and Milroe, I don't know if Milroe has progressed any because he didn't play in them crucial situations. A lot of that time was taken up by Bryce. So I think they might even come in here equal until you put those guys in situations. I'm talking about second quarter, third quarter, where they can show you they have no limitations on the play calling for the offensive coordinator. They know how to do all the audibles, all the checkdowns, and you're playing against another team's first team defense. It's going to be hard to say who's going to take this number 2 spot and run with it, man. That's just my opinions. Let me know what you think.
Appreciate Elijah for that. Appreciate Elijah for that call right there. Very interesting thoughts, very intriguing thoughts, and this is the reason why you want to see a lot, from Milroe, just due to what Elijah just mentioned. He did not have just a whole lot of opportunities last year. He played in only 4 games, and the little bit we did see, he wet some taste buds a little bit. The little touchdown pass to Javon Baker against Southern Miss was good. He had some moments where he was able to escape and get some opportunities running the football there, but just not a ton of reps. So good point there by Elijah. Spring ball will show a little bit, but you definitely want to see what these two can do in the regular season coming up in the fall. We go to this call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, I'm Keith from Maryland. How are you?
Doing great, and yourself, man?
Great. I love your work, man. I love watching you on the press conferences. You ask the most introspective questions of Coach Saban, of anybody that's out there, and you do your research, and I truly appreciate all the work you do, man.
Appreciate you for the words, man. Thank you.
Quick question. So Ty Simpson, he's 5 stars. Everybody says how great he is, and I don't doubt Coach Saban's recruiting whatsoever. One thing I was curious about, though, the level of competition he played against in Tennessee. He played next to lowest level class of football in Tennessee, and I don't even think they won a state championship. How does that factor into what he's going to see as he comes in and develops? And does that mean his ceiling is lower than what Milroe faced? Because Milroe, if I'm correct, was playing the highest level of class football in Texas.
It plays a role in it, the level of high school competition you come from. But then, once you get to Alabama and once you get to the SEC, it's about how much fight is in you. The high school competition at that point done with. It's how much fight is in you, how much competition is in you, how much do you process the details and the information. I remember having this conversation with Justin Woodall, who played at Alabama from 2005 or 2006 to 09, and he mentioned everybody that comes out of high school, they come in an athlete. It just now becomes who processes quicker, who understands faster, who learns with much better speed to get what you need to get to on the field. So for Simpson, he comes in here, he's probably going to have to put a little bit more weight on, but if he's able to process that thing fast, he should be good. But we appreciate my man Keith for that call right there out of Maryland. We take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, this is Mike from Kentucky, man.
Mike, what's happening, brother?
Well, sitting here burning wood like always, watching your show. Here's the way I see this quarterback thing shaking out. If Ty Simpson passes Milroe in the depth chart, it's going to be Portal City for Milroe. He's too good a player. Somebody will pick him up. I hate to see him go. The guy's a freak physically. I watched him lift weights last year, on a few clips here and there, and the guy's got incredible strength. He reminds me of Jalen Hurts, except he throws the ball better. I don't know how good this Simpson cat is. He's supposed to be hyped up pretty big, but that'll be a problem. I can see him if he passes Milroe in the depth chart. I think he'll portal up.
I'll say this, Mike. spring football does not mean everything, but it does have a way of stopping and starting the hype train for a lot of players. So Simpson comes in with a lot of hype. He has a chance to either increase that hype throughout spring practice in the 8-day game, or he can douse that hype with Jalen Milroe having a better performance. So we'll see how it happens.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Stephen. I caught a young man's clip on YouTube. We got a new D lineman coming in. Jaheim Otis?
Yeah.
Wow. I only saw sophomore film on this kid, and he looked like a senior. He was pushing people around like a senior his sophomore year. Dude, we got a monster coming.
Mike, he's a dude. All Otis needs to do, if he can drop about 10 pounds, because if he can drop about 10 pounds but still keep the speed and the freakish ability he has, he going to be something. But appreciate Mike from Kentucky there for that call. I mean, I like Jaheim Otis. If he can drop about 10 pounds and still be able to move like that, Otis can be a freak on that defensive line. Absolutely. Got to shout out my man Jimmy Bad Clay again, baby, with that $40 donation. Dropping the love there in the hat here, showing the appreciation on the show. Want to thank you, the Bama fans, calling in, letting your voices be heard here in this first called segment here of the show. And we go to a quick topic right now, and this goes to the Super Bowl on Sunday. The Rams getting the 23-20 win over the Bengals. If I'm the LA Rams, I'm opening up the wallet. I'm paying A'Shawn Robinson right now. I'm paying A'Shawn, because as elite as Aaron Donald is, and he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, book it. This guy has done everything imaginable for a defensive lineman to do, including winning the Super Bowl. Von Miller, as a pass rusher, first ballot Hall of Famer, book it. He's incredible. But A'Shawn Robinson changed the temperature of the room throughout that entire game. When he was not on the field, Cincinnati's Joe Mixon was getting 6, 7, 8, 10 yards to run. And then Raheem Morris, defensive coordinator for the Rams, said, I've seen enough of this Mixon kid. A'Shawn, get your butt out there. Big 94 took the field. Joe Mixon could not run on A'Shawn. Could not run the football on Big 94. And A'Shawn in the matchup, 6 tackles, 5 solo stops, had a sack of Joe Burrow, had a tackle for loss, had a quarterback hit on Burrow. And with Aaron Donald right now contemplating retirement, if I'm the Rams, if I'm Les Snead and the Rams, I open up that wallet and I pay A'Shawn, because the entire playoff, dude wanted all the smoke and got all the smoke. And in the Super Bowl, biggest game of the year, boy, did he turn up in that matchup. And A'Shawn's been doing it since high school. Arlington Heights in Texas, was doing it at Alabama, and continues to have that same mindset in the NFL. So kudos to A'Shawn. Big performance by him in the Super Bowl. If I'm LA, Les Snead, Sean McVay, y'all can hear me right now. Pay him the money. Give A'Shawn Robinson the money. But we go to a break here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial, because when we get back, Nick Saban, Alabama, has made it official with Joe Cox, the latest hire to the Crimson Tide's coaching staff. We'll get into it after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian or Jameer.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, Valentine's Day Monday here on In My Own Words, #1 forum for Crimson Tide football news. Stephen Smith, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama magazine, and people continue to give us that thumbs up, run those likes up, give us a like on the show, making this your show, your network, your channel, your platform to talk Alabama football. And we continue with the conversation of Coach Saban upgrading his coaching staff, making some moves, shuffling some things around on the coaching staff as Saban and the University of Alabama made it official with one Joe Cox. He is the tight ends coach for Alabama. At one point in time, there were reports about he was expected to be the guy. He was rumored to be the guy. He was going to be the guy to coach tight ends for the program. But now, as of today, a press release came out from the program. Coach Saban making some statements in the press release that Joe Cox, 35-year-old native of Charlotte, North Carolina, alumnus of the University of Georgia, played quarterback for the Bulldogs from 2005 to 2009. He is officially now the tight ends coach for the Crimson Tide. And this all goes back to the level of respect Nick Saban has for Will Boom Muschamp and this coaching fraternity. The last four hires, when you discuss Eric Wolford, Travaris Robinson, Coleman Hutzler, and now Joe Cox, all at some point in their careers spent time under Muschamp as he was the head coach at South Carolina from 2016 to 2020. So that just speaks to that fraternity in terms of coaching. But, Joe Cox comes in here, he's got experience. Coached tight ends at Colorado State, coached tight ends at Charlotte, coached wide receivers at South Carolina. Good coach, really good recruiter, good teacher at that tight end position. He has guys to run routes and catch the football, but he's really good also blocking tight ends. When you discussed at Colorado State from 2016 to 2019, he had guys like Dalton Backrell and Trey McBride and Cameron Butler. All of those guys had big success catching the football, blocking, scoring touchdowns, making plays there at Colorado State. You can't really, judge him all that much for what happened at Charlotte, because Charlotte is still a fairly young program in college football. It's just their 7th year having a football program, so you can't really judge him on much merit when it comes to how young the Charlotte program is. When he was at South Carolina with wide receivers in 2020, he had success there, helping the likes of Shi Smith put together a good season, over 600 yards receiving with 4 touchdowns for Smith. So Cox really good there in that aspect. But what's going to be interesting is how he goes about continuing the development of Alabama's tight end room. Jaleel Billingsley, gone. He's at Texas now with Steve Sarkisian, with Coach Jeff Banks down there with the Longhorns. So you bring back Cameron Latu, who had 8 touchdown catches a season ago. If he would have held on to maybe 4 or 5 more balls in the end zone, could have ended that season with 12 or 13 touchdown receptions. But hey, I digress from that statement. Did some good things a season ago. How does Cox continue Latu's development as a pass catcher, as a route runner, as a blocker, all of those good things, and even down to getting up and down the field in terms of that speed. So improving Latu's play on the field will be huge for Cox. But not just that, the guys behind Latu, when you discuss Robbie Oots, who came in the 2021 class as a 3-star from South Carolina. He's got the blocking ability. We've seen that. I mean, Oots is a nasty blocker in the goal line situation as that fullback, H-back coming up and bang, creating an opportunity for Brian Robinson to get in the end zone, or whomever the runner may be on that particular play to get in the end zone. So we know what he is as a blocker, but can Cox birth out or pull out the development of him as a receiver, as a pass catcher, as a route runner, somebody that can get open and just make plays in the passing game? Can Cox pull that out of Robbie Oots? That'd be a big thing. When you talk about Elijah Brown, who is on campus as a tight end from Ohio and early enrollee at 6'5", 230 pounds. Can he pull out the ability from Brown as a pass catcher, as a blocker, as a route runner, as somebody that can have that chemistry, that connection with Bryce Young at quarterback? Can Cox get that done? Not only with Elijah Brown, when you discuss Amari Nablack and Danny Lewis Jr. as those two come in the summer, can Cox bring the best out of those guys? So at the tight end position, Alabama fans, you guys want to see this group used a lot more, just various ways, right? Because we always kind of go back to O.J. Howard in 2015, how he could have been used so much more that season. Yes, he had 38 catches for 602 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he broke out there in the college football playoff that year. But you always wonder, if he would have been used more in 2015, the numbers he could have really put up at 6'6" and 250-plus pounds, that runs like a deer out there, how much could he really have done? And then you saw the production that Irv Smith Jr. had with Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. And we even saw what a Miller Forrestal was able to do with a Mac Jones pulling the trigger. So you want to see more of these tight ends get in the flow, more of these tight ends being used and being developed and having their skill set be recognized within the offense. So here is a Joe Cox. We will see what he will be able to do with this group of tight ends. And then, what becomes of Drew Swoboda, who was the tight ends coach last year, according to RollTide.com, he's been moved to the support staff role along with Sal Sunseri. Now, Coach Sal will be, the special assistant to Coach Saban, and an off-field role he'll be working on, crunching the numbers and doing the data and the analytics from the transfer portal and seeing, the type of guys that Alabama couldn't get from the portal. But what would Drew Swoboda's role be remains to be seen, as he heads to an off-field role, sort of making that room there for Joe Cox to come in to coach tight ends. I know a lot of people have also been asking about Pete Golding. Coach Golding is still on the staff. Coach Golding ain't going nowhere. Coach Golding is still under the tag of defensive coordinator. Nothing has happened where Coach Golding is concerned, but Joe Cox is in here. He will be coaching tight ends for the Crimson Tide. Alabama has made that official. So it's going to be fun to watch him this spring with Cameron Latu and the guys behind him. And can he continue the development and making this tight end room a marquee room for Alabama's offense? We go to a break right now, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we return, we get back to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your interactions. It's Valentine's Day Monday, and we keep the conversation rolling after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit weownthefourthquarter.com now to get your 4-finger bling necklace.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care, in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99, and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
As we're back in, folks, from the break with number one forum for Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Monday, Valentine's Day Monday, spreading the love right here on the show, and continue giving us that thumbs up, run those likes up, give a like there on the show. Make this your show, your network, your channel, your platform and space to talk Bama football. We got the phone lines open right now, 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. What's crazy, John, is Alabama men's basketball, right? This is a basketball program that lost to Missouri and lost to Georgia, but somehow it beats Gonzaga, it beats Houston, it takes care of Arkansas, it beats Ole Miss, and somehow, some way, it is still looked at as a projected 5 seed going into the NCAA tournament, according to the bracketology that's going around. So hopefully, Coach Nate Oates can have these guys locked, sinkered, focused on getting on this run and winning, 20 plus games right now. I believe the Tide 16-9. So got to find a way to get to that 20 plus win mark so it can be that number 5 seed in terms of going into the NCAA tournament. Also, folks, Alabama softball. Patrick Murphy said during the media day, Coach Murphy said, this team right here that he's got, most talented team he has had since he's been in Tuscaloosa. And at first, I was like, Murph, hold on now. Murph, you didn't have some ladies come through this program when you talk Jackie Traynor, Haley McClinney, Amanda Locke, Kayla Bro, Kayla Hunt, Cassie Ralabosha, Leslie Jury, Sydney Littlejohn, Bailey Hemphill. You didn't have some girls come through this program that were all Americans. But Murph said in the media day, this team right here, Team 26, the most talented team he's ever had. And during Alabama's first week of action in the tournament down there in Arizona, boy, did those girls put on a show. Megan Bloodworth, Bailey Downing, Abby Dorr. Bama's got some power bats. Bama's got some power bats. We know what the pitching is with Montana Fouts and Lexi Kilfoyle, but Bama's got some power bats in this lineup. If the bats can be consistent, that's my one thing. If the bats can be consistent all year, this is a team that can get to Oklahoma City and the Women's College World Series. All I want to see is these bats be consistent all year. But we take a phone call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling tonight? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven. It's Mattress Matt. How are you?
Matt, what's going on, brother?
Oh, man, just chilling. I like what over the time I've been listening to you, you seem like you're good at, evaluating, talent. Every time you said, a player is really good and they get out there and play, it seems like most of the time you're always right. You were right about Mac Jones. You've been right, on a lot of these players that we hadn't seen get out on the field. We didn't see much of Mac Jones, but you said that he was going to be really good, and you also said the same thing about Paul Tyson. You thought that he maybe should have started over Bryce Young at one time. I'm sure your mind's changed a little bit now, just seeing how good Bryce Young is out on the field. But, I wish that we would have maybe gotten a little bit more time to see them play, on the big stage and more time. We only have a small segment of time, that we can watch Jalen Milroe, and he did really great. And then the very few times Paul Tyson came in, he made some mistakes. That might have just been, luck of the draw, because they came in for such brief periods. I would have liked to have maybe seen that develop more, see him getting a rhythm over a course of time, and we really just don't know. We haven't seen enough of them. So can you kind of see that? I've never been one that pays attention to like spring games and in those games. Are there scrimmages and things like that you can watch?
Well,
can you watch? I mean, are there like how many scrimmages will you be able to see these quarterbacks perform?
Well, of course, Coach Saban, Matt, does not allow the media into the scrimmages. Now, when we were in there, it was just for the warm-ups, the little warm-up drills before they actually start scrimmaging. So we don't necessarily watch the scrimmage, but I know there's at least 3 scrimmages before the A-Day game in the spring, and then in fall camp. There's 2 to 3 scrimmages before they get into the start of the regular season. And it's like you mentioned, sometimes it is the unfortunate luck of the draw, because we didn't see a lot of Milroe. We didn't see a lot of Tyson out there. And part of the reason why was Nick Saban going to that spring was so sold on Bryce Young is the real deal. And me seeing it for myself, Bryce Young was truly the real deal out there on the field. So sometimes in spring, that becomes your audition to really take full advantage of what you're trying to do. And it's almost, you don't want to make kind of an absolute statement of, I got to do it all now in terms of spring football. But a lot of times, you really don't have a choice in terms of, if I'm trying to impress not only the coaching staff, not only my teammates, but most importantly, the hundreds of thousands of fans watching me in this spring game, but I got to go all out for it now.
Right. And one more quick question. Have you actually seen with your own eyes like a lot of playing time, maybe in scrimmages that you hear reports from or whatever, of Christian Leary actually having a lot of touches and given the ability to see what he can do over the course of a game?
I know this past spring, well, the spring of last year, man, did hear a lot of good things about Leary. Did hear a lot of good things about his speed, about his ability to get up and down the field, his ability to catch the ball. I think this spring we're going to hear even more about him, because he's got a real shot to start in that slot position. But we appreciate Mattress Matthew for the
as a potential starter in that position. Is he going to be kind of highlighted and showcased this year as more of a one of the top guys?
I think he is.
Okay. Well, hey man, I appreciate it, and you have a great day.
Absolutely.
Night.
Mattress Matt calling in right there. I definitely want to see Christian Leary on this field because of the fact that he does have the speed. He does have the ability, but I think it's going to be down with him, Earl, and then the freshman Aaron Anderson. That slot position is going to be fun right there. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
My name's Noah Owens from Harnack, Virginia.
How we feeling today, man?
Hey, I like your show, YouTube. I subscribe you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Alabama's my favorite team.
Absolutely.
You think they might win the national championship next year?
They're going to be right, man. They're going to be right there in it. I mean, after watching Bryce and Will and the frustration they had not winning it, they're going to be right there in it again.
Yeah, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What's your name?
I'm Stephen Smith.
Hey, Stephen Smith. I'm up here at Honaker. Our coach, he asked my dad, he said, James, he said your son kick like a 30-yard field goal. And I said, I can.
You can kick that field goal, man. Go out there and kick that field goal. Appreciate my man for that call right there. We take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
My name is Kunj. I'm calling from Illinois. Just had a question about inside linebacker. Who do you envision are the three starters at the position since Henry 2020 and Christian Harris is going to the draft?
Well, Henry To'oTo'o is coming back. Christian Harris is in the draft. So Henry T is actually coming back. So the inside linebackers, let's go Henry T, and for now, Jalen Moody. But I would keep my eyes on Deontay Lawson, Kendrick Blackshire, and the freshman Sean Murphy, especially if Murphy, who's an early enrollee, could come in here and really create some attention.
Just a follow-up question. I've been watching your podcast a lot lately, and some people are saying that Jihad Campbell could play inside linebacker. Do you envision him getting on the field right away?
Jihad Campbell can play inside or outside. However, I kind of see him more outside because he's an edge rusher. It's going to be tough for him to play right away because that outside linebacker room is insanely, crazily with depth. But we'll see how this looks, though. He's got the talent. He's got the ability. We'll see how he does in spring ball.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate that call right there coming to the show. 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. Got to shout out Jamie Wilhelm. Jamie Wilhelm, that $4.99 the Super Chats. Appreciate the love there coming from Jamie, absolutely, too. The show, and we go to this topic right here, and it's Coach Saban and the Coaches Clinic, or the Clinic of Champions, returning to Tuscaloosa, returning to the program on from April 7th to April 9th. So the Coaches Clinic returning April 7th through the 9th. Coach Saban getting that chance to impart wisdom into high school coaches, into high school position coaches, getting that next wave of coaches coming to the ranks, that wisdom, that knowledge, that information on how to be successful. And the one thing I enjoy about the Clinic of Champions is Coach Saban always finds a way to get the cream of the crop to come in and make speeches and give wisdom and give insight to the young coaches coming through the ranks, whether it be guys like a Bill Snyder, or he'll have a Bill Belichick come down. He'll just have different marquee coaches at the top of their game come in and speak to the wave of high school guys, bringing up this next group here of athletes. So Coaching Clinic of Champions at the University of Alabama, April 7th through April 9th. Definitely got to check that out here for all the high school guys in the coaching clientele in the coaching ranks. But, man, really want to see Alabama men's basketball continue on this run, or get on this run, trying to get to the NCAA tournament. And in Alabama softball, Patrick Murphy and the girls, they're starting off strong so far. On the 18th, they will be back in Tuscaloosa at Rhodes Stadium to start their first home series of the season. I may find myself at the Rhodes House, John, for that Alabama softball game. Y'all see me there. I might be at the Rhodes House. But we're going to go to a break here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial, because when we get back, we got a topic that honors Valentine's Day. And for you, the Crimson Tide fans, and how much you love, you cherish, and you appreciate your Alabama program. We tidy up loose ends with that after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, back into the action from the break on a Monday, Valentine's Day Monday. Showing you the love here in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciate you guys writing in, texting in, calling in, donating in, making this your network, your channel, your platform, your space to talk Crimson Tide football. And before we get into the final topic of conversation, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. So for you, the Tide fan, you enjoy repping your brand, your school, your program, Bama football. You all about Bama. You nothing else but Crimson Tide. While you're enjoying your football, you got to also enjoy repping the brand that gives you the most up-to-date information on your Crimson Tide, that being Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And you can do this by getting the hottest styles of fashion, of clothing, whether it's pants, shirts, joggers, leggings, hoodies. For the culture of Crimson Tide football and the culture of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, we got your clothing apparel needs right now to keep you swagged out, fresh to death, repping your program, that being the Crimson Tide. Check us out right here, TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. Link in the description. Get that gear today. Show them that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But we get into now the final topic of conversation today, and it goes to, it's got a Valentine's Day theme to it. So it's, the love that you as Alabama fans have for your program, the love that you have, how much you cherish your program, how much you value your program. And this kind of sparked me, John, last night watching the Super Bowl. And Nick Saban has produced, Alabama football has produced, in the Saban era, 15 Super Bowl champions, 15 players that have at least one Super Bowl ring. Alabama fans, you love that. You love when you can see your young men from the program you enjoy. They come from high school, they come through the Alabama program, they take the coaching, they take the process, they go through it all, they have success, they go to the NFL, and they win Super Bowls. It just adds so much more for you to love, value, boast, and brag about. And 15 names have done this. When you look at guys like Donta Hightower, who's the leader in the clubhouse with 3 Super Bowls, and Cyrus Jones has one, and Reggie Ragland has one, and Garrick Dieter has one, and Jesse Williams has one, and James Carpenter, and Courtney Upshaw, and Terrence Cody, and DeAndrew White. Just several of these guys have a ring. 15 players have at least one ring. And 3 guys joined the action last night, with Ashawn Robinson getting a ring. And Terrell Lewis, though he didn't play in the game, he was inactive, he has a ring. And Carson Tinker, all that he went through in the April 2011 tornado in Tuscaloosa, and losing his fiancee Ashley Harrison at that time in that storm. And he has a ring coming with the Rams. So just special for you as Alabama fans when you have a program that you love, that you enjoy, that you can't stop talking about it because it means so much to you. And to see these young men go to the NFL and win Super Bowls. So, and then from there you look at, you as Tide fans, you love your program because it's always in the conversation to win the SEC championship. Saban always has this group, has this program in the conversation to win an SEC title. Alabama, the reigning SEC champions of college football. We're talking about since 2008. What is it? 8 SEC titles? Like, you love this as a Crimson Tide program. This is something that when Bama wins an SEC title, you guys are at Dick's Sporting Goods. You're at Walmart. You're at whatever place has the championship hats, has the championship shirts, has the championship gear, because for you, this is my team. This is my program. And if I'm not front and center, getting these hats, getting these shirts, showing my joy, showing my fandom, showing my gratefulness with this team, do I really value this team? Do I really love this team? So, U.S. fans, you guys enjoy Bama in that conversation for SEC championships. You enjoy Bama in the conversation for national championships. And Alabama's got 6 of those under Coach Saban. Could have very well had a 7th one this past January, but unfortunately, you had some drop balls, you had some injuries, you had some unfortunate things that happened, but Alabama was right there. With the group led by 2 sophomores, Bryce Young and Will Anderson, Bama was right there, in toe-to-toe with Kirby Smart's group of super seniors and grown men. Alabama football was right there. But this is going to be a team that's going to be in the conversation again for a national championship. It's going to be right there again with a shot to go to SoFi Stadium in L.A. to play for the national championship to open the 2023 year. And, U.S. fans are like, hey, we're always in the conversation. We love this about our team. Like, you don't have teams out there that are always in the conversation. It's become, if you don't start the national championship conversation with the University of Alabama, Nick Saban, and the Crimson Tide, are you really a journalist? Are you really an analyst? Are you really on the up and up, or are you just hating on what Alabama's doing? I mean, that's become the biggest piece of the conversation every offseason. And you as fans, you love that because you enjoy when everybody talks about your team and they cannot seem to get away from the Crimson Tide. And then, of course, now you guys are starting to love and appreciate Alabama becoming a Heisman program. And this was something that people wondered for years. Could Alabama produce those Heisman Trophy winners? We've seen other schools do that, but can Alabama do that? And under Nick Saban since 2009, 4 have popped out. Mark Ingram in 2009, Derrick Henry 2015, Devontae Smith 2020, Bryce Young last season. And they all come, with the exception of Ingram and Henry, they all come different positions. Ingram and Henry both running backs. But you guys are enjoying the fact that Alabama is pumping out Heisman Trophy winners under Coach Saban. And could next season be one where a defensive player like a Will Anderson wins the Heisman? Who knows? Could be. That's just the joy and the glory and the excitement, but it's the sport. So you as Alabama fans, continue to love this program. Continue to cherish this program. Continue to value this program every time you look at it on TV. Every time you're inside that stadium, cheer like your life depended on it, because you don't know how long this type of dominance, this type of run is going to continue under Coach Saban, or whoever comes into the program after Coach Saban decides to hang it up at some point. We don't know when that is. But as he continues to be the head man in Tuscaloosa, and as Alabama continues to pump out this excellence on the field that you crave, continue to love it, continue to enjoy it, continue to be fascinated by it, continue to put your arms around it as the passionate, intelligent, fun-loving, zealous fan base that you guys are. And as always, Tide Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get that by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from your iPhone App Store. if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. If you got the Android phone, for your audio listening needs, check us out right here, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, iHeartRadio. Got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. If you're trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of TDA, the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description too. If you're also trying to get that four-finger bling necklace, four-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com. That's weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description as well. Appreciate my man P-Money Patrick Dowd coming on the day. My man John Ivor in the production studio. You, the awesome fans, for checking us out. And until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, good thing, smart thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored. Be sure to pick you up those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the rest of your Valentine's Day evening. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.